One of the more recent ones that came up was our executive directors asking for quote-unquote real-time evaluations. So essentially what they want us to do is not just go ex post, but also say, okay, here is, say, a project or a country strategy program ongoing, and we want you to check it out during the process, midterm, for instance, and then help tweak this, if it needs tweaking, so that it can achieve its overall objectives. What has your experience been in something like this, and how should one approach it?
So the term real-time evaluation actually comes from the humanitarian sector. And because in a humanitarian response, especially a sudden onset response or emergency, the response goes in, does what it needs to do, and then it gets pulled out. Say, for example, the earthquake in Haiti. Suddenly there are thousands of people on the ground distributing food, putting up tents, etc., etc. And once that response is over, they go back to their regular jobs. And so if an evaluation comes after that, they don't really find a lot of people to talk to. And so that's where the concept of real-time evaluation during the response to a disaster sort of came up. The other evaluation professions, so for example, in some of my past lives, we would do evaluations of ongoing projects, and we would sort of like give feedback on that. But from my point of view, it does blur then the line with the independence, because if you are in the process, you're reviewing, you're giving feedback and advising on what needs to change, you automatically then have a stake in the project when it comes to closure, and you cannot do an impartial evaluation of it afterwards. So my preferred option for the MDBs is that they have their self-evaluation capacity where they review, they take course corrections, etc., whereas the independent evaluation office continues to do the job at the end. The one difference, though, is that, say, for example, we do a big thematic evaluation or a sectoral evaluation where we look back at 10 years of experience. And so there are quite a number of projects that are closed and that have been evaluated, etc. But then looking at the newer portfolio and saying, like, well, we know that here are some success factors that are inbuilt in the design of a project or in the implementation arrangements. Do we see those in this newer portfolio? Or are the newer projects repeating the same mistakes we've seen 10 years ago? And so that's how I would get to a closer timeline without compromising the independence of evaluation.